Good morning, podcast community, my community of givers. We just did a podcast unleashing 30 unique and niche podcasts. And on the line here on my mindset is one individual you're going to hear about a lot because she has the right mindset. She teaches people the right mindset. So we want to take you through a journey to really understand how important with the right mindset can be for your just the way you operate in business and you operate in your personal life. So, Joanie, okay,
Yep.
would you please introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and who you serve?
My name is Joanie Chamberland, and I am a female black belt instructor and owner of Reza Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And I teach people how to defend themselves, feel better about themselves uh, through Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So it's going to be sports based Jiu Jitsu, but it's going to teach you how to be able to be confident standing on the ground if somebody's attacking you, how to stay out of the situations. And then, as well as we have a leadership program here to teach people how to grow in their life skills and become better future leaders.
I love a couple words in there: confidence and leadership. So when I met you for the first time, I know we've talked about it on previous podcasts, but tell our viewers, give up my first impression when you spoke at that KBA wake up call was the word confidence. And you had a confidence, a silent confidence that one, I wasn't going to mess with you because I knew where I was, so I understood that, but it's just the way you carry yourself. How, everybody wants it, but you can't buy it at Walmart. So
No.
give our give our viewers an idea, like your journey is an interesting one and a beautiful one. Give our viewers an idea. How do you gain confidence?
Honestly, it's through doing things almost daily, right? Just over time, things that you feel like you should be able to do and then accomplishing that thing, right? And over time, as you keep doing those things and accomplishing them, it's going to help you like notice like, oh, okay, I am able to do that. Oh, okay, things are getting better. uh, with teaching, knowing that the stuff that I do when I'm watching my students try those same moves and they
Mhm.
work, I'm like, okay, that showed me that that works. So just adding a little bit every day onto that thing, they're like, okay, I can do this thing. So it's not like you hit these major achievements and that's the only time you feel this confidence. It's
Mhm.
constantly just adding little stacks every day of things that you can do that you can do, and then you do those things. And then knowing that if it doesn't work that day, you have all the other things you've done in the past that are still accumulating and working for you. So
That's
constantly just doing the things that I think I'm capable of doing, and then finding
totally.
out that I can do those things.
Yeah, I love that you explain it like that because people think they have to do these great things to gain confidence sometimes, and it's the little things repeated over and over and over. It's almost like you're making deposits in you, little
Right.
deposits over and over and over and over again. And before you know it, the bank's full. You've got the confidence, but it didn't happen overnight. You didn't fill that account up overnight. It was done consistently over a period of time. I want you to share also, what is leadership? Because you're leading a team. Does
Right.
confidence come first and then leadership next? Give our viewers an idea of how those two words link together.
I would say from so confidence is learned, right? It's overdoing something that gives you that confidence. So you have to have enough confidence so that you can go out there, and that's typically like what I've learned to be kind of a borrowed confidence. So what would somebody that you look up to do in that situation and emulate that? So not fake it till you make it, but what would they do, because then you do it too. And so just having that confidence, like, okay, because my leadership program, I invite people in, right? So they're like, well, clearly coach thinks I can be a leader, so that
Mhm.
already gives them that little bit of confidence, right? And as they continue to do things, it's going to build. And I think it's always a looping cycle, right? It's always going to be, okay, I'm going to do something and then I'm going to earn this confidence, and I'm going to do something else and I'm going to earn this confidence. So it's not like it's you get it and then you just have it, right? Because there's different areas of your life that you're probably confident in, some that you're not. And so it's just every time you learn something and do it and it works out, then you're building that. So confidence comes after doing the actions, after doing those things. So, and then leadership, I mean, everyone is a leader pretty much in some way, right? Whether you're in a church, whether you're in a school, whether you're in a group of friends, if you're a parent, right? If you're an older sibling, so you're always going to have somebody that's looking up to you. So you're always going to be a leader in some way, even if it's your animals, right? So everyone can benefit from doing the leadership stuff.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned the animals that we over the course of a bunch of years, we had 4 dogs, and dogs can sense a leader. If
Yeah.
I mean, they connect with you better than anything and they just love on you, but you have to be the leader in that room, meaning like if you just let them do anything, they're going to pee on the floor, they're going to go to the bathroom on the floor. But if you train them right and they respect you as the leader, they respect their boundaries in a cool way because they're doing the kind of things that you would want, but you don't automatically, the first dog you get, unless you go through a process to be the leader of your favorite animal, it's not going to just come. You don't just click your finger. What would you say, like opening up a business? I mean, everybody wants to own their own business, or a high percentage of people, not everybody. What was leadership and making that step? How did that go together when you decided, okay, brick and mortar, I got to be the promoter. I've got to really, jump into this role that, I'm not so certain on. How did leadership help you in that journey?
Well, what's kind of interesting is I tell people this all the time. Like I kind of was born being one of those people that was fearless in that sense of just courageous, right? Trying to do the things. So, but there is a place where I didn't feel that, and it was jujitsu for a long time.
Mhm.
And so I was scared to open something by myself because I've done a lot of things and I'm very successful and I'll make it work, right? But there was something about opening by myself that felt scary. And at the time, I was teaching jujitsu in a taekwondo school, and my boss that I had for 7, 8 years, and I've known him for 15, 17 years now, almost 20 probably. Yeah, definitely 20. Yep. And he was telling me, when you open something with somebody, they're bringing something to the table that you're not bringing. So he's like, if this person's bringing something else to the table, that's why you have them. And that was kind of the first time I really thought about like what it is that I'm bringing to the table, right? And listening to my like the leaders in my life and going, oh, okay, he views what I bring to this table, what this person brings or doesn't bring. And so it was one of those, all right, like I've been doing this long enough. I think that I can try this and do it. But also knowing that with leadership comes, you know, um, interdependence. I have a circle of people around me. I have people that are going to back me up and help me out whenever I do need that. So being a leader does not mean you're just at the top alone. Like a lot of times, yes, leaders are more alone, but that's why we have the circles that we have. So it really helped me out knowing, okay, I've got all these skills and I have somebody else who's a leader that's like, you can do this as long as you have everything you need to bring to the table. So I would say, help me see what I can do and listen to somebody else that I care about that sees what I can do. Help me move and do that thing that I was kind of afraid to do by myself. And then
Mhm.
that's when you see too, like, oh, okay, all the people that have been leading, if you're a good leader, they're going to follow you and they're going to support you. So I was teaching classes somewhere else before I opened my gym, and all of those people were very supportive and helping and knowing, like, yeah, my time's going to be split between teaching here, getting the place set up. They're not going to see me as much. And everybody was very supportive. I had students come and help. My boss came and helped. Like, so there was a lot of support through that leadership that I built.
That's awesome to hear. I never heard it said like that, which makes sense that you're bringing somebody else in that has a different skill set. And you look at the successful duos over the years, that's exactly the common thing. I mean, look at Apple. When Wozniak and Jobs came together, was the creative guy,
Right.
and Wozniak was the geeky guy. So, they both brought two things together, and hey, the rest is history. Apple became pretty successful. So it makes sense. And I think our viewers to understand doing something by yourself, nobody does anything by themselves. It's a collaborative effort of a lot of people. And I think to your point about leadership, you have to lead wherever you are, whether it's in your church group, whether it's in your small group, whether it's in your business association, whether it's in your business. Everywhere you go, you're going to be tested to the point is, if you're a leader, you look behind you, and if nobody's there, you ain't a leader, so
Right.
yeah. And it's the quiet leadership. Everybody sometimes gets off on that path that it's the very outspoken person. It doesn't matter how you are. If you're an introvert, you can be a leader. If you're an
Yep.
extrovert, you can be a leader. It's just, you know, developing those skills. What do you do? I love when we talk about the mindset. So personal development is that commitment to personally develop. What would you tell our viewers that you're doing to really, I mean, I know this is me looking at you. You're crushing it because you have so many of those skills that are coming together. People are going to follow you. I mean, that's a given because you not only respect people, but you're just fun to be around, and people want to be around people that have confidence because hey, look, I mean, that's a fact of life. You gravitate to confidence. I mean, people do that and people gravitate to you. So tell our viewers like the personal development part of your life. What are you doing to continue to grow?
What's kind of interesting is I didn't start doing any kind of like goal setting, planning. I mean, my thing was always be successful, right? Get good grades, profit, do the things I want to do, right? Do things to get me there. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until I think it was 3 years ago that I started like my first like journaling. I started listening to some audiobooks. And the first one I listened to was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yeah.
And then I listened
Yeah.
to started listening to Darren daily as I got that, Darren talks about people read books, but they don't do the work. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do the work. And so I downloaded all the PDFs and worked on that, listened to some more books, talk with friends that listen to books, get some more. And one of the big key things that Darren said, the most like important advice that he received was to spend 10% on his self and his development. And they're like, and the number one investment that you should make is an investment in yourself because it's always worth it. So
Yep.
um so after that I started really focusing on, you know, the areas that I need because I can't do everything by myself. So I had to get a different person to help me with marketing, do the stuff that I don't like doing or don't want to do. And so I started, researching on okay, how do I let these things go? How do I work better at the things that I'm good at? And so I probably do too much is what I've been told by my business coach. Joe says he's like, you need to slow down, but I just find it very interesting. So I've done a lot of Darren Hardy's programs. I've done a hero's journey, which is a leadership class. They're huge
Mhm.
on rinse and repeat. So I'm actually repeating the hero's journey this year. I've done insane productivity. I've done listen to different books on meditation to help you with productivity. I'm very good at organizing. I've listened to the what is his book? Getting Shit Done. I can't think of what his book is called though, but so I've done that technique. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
things I'm incorporating and figuring out how to make it work for me and figuring out why those work so I can teach other people on how to use those same tools the ways that it's going to work for them. So constantly working on something to improve in some area. I try to focus on one skill per quarter and really dive dive, dive deeply into that one skill. So my first quarter was communication and now I'm on leadership. So currently reading different leadership books and
Mhm.
focusing on that. So there's constantly something I'm trying to learn and trying to get better at and trying to teach. So it's always evolving and I just enjoy learning things that I care about and that I think will help people grow, help me grow, help the world be a better place. So it's just constant, right? Every year, every quarter, it's always, all right, what am I trying to get better at? Let's pick a one skill and focus on that, because you're just never going to fully have one skill grasped. So you can't just keep going until you have everything on that. So it's just one chunk, one chunk, one chunk, and just keep trying to grow in every area that you feel is important.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I know Darren personally. I was in the People's Network years ago, and it was delivered through Prime Star, and then they were bought out by DirecTV, so it went away. But Darren, yeah, he's a very talented. I mean, he ran Success Magazine for a number of years, so yeah, he's definitely committed to the growth part of it, and has done some amazing things. And I'm familiar with a lot of the stuff, and I hadn't heard his name in a year or two. I actually had a person that a client told me about when I was doing business with her in LA, and she said, "Hey, there's a guy's doing a weekend up in San Francisco. Do you care to go?" I said, "Yeah, I'm already here." So it was a weekend, and his name was Brendan Bouchard, and he's like, I like when I heard him speak that weekend, I went, "Man, this guy's a mover and shaker. It's kind of like a daring guy." So all of a sudden, I lose track with him for 10 years, and I'm listening to a podcast, and I hear that he's got a community. I look at the community, he's got 300,000 people in the community. I'm going, I hadn't heard of him for 10 years. I mean, I just was on my particular people, but I was listening to Ed Milet, and Ed Milet had him as a guest, and they were talking about this. I literally, my jaw dropped because I lost track of him, kind of like a Darren. You know, you have so many good people out there. You'll get your favorites and you'll just run with them because they're talented and they deliver value. And so that quarterly thing, I love that you have a theme, because that's Darren taught that way back when in the TPN days, or the People's Network, is, you know, your weeks, your days, your quarters, you theme them, you chunk them, and you learn a particular skill over a period of time. Before you know it, those little improvements start compounding. And when they start compounding, it just gets crazy how your growth starts. So
Well, and
what we
everyone calls that the overnight success, and it's like,
yeah,
well, we've been
that
overnight
is such a
successing for 3 years.
yeah, I know. It's like there is nobody like in my podcast space. There's Joe Rogan, and people like will say, "Are you trying to be a Joe Rogan?" I said, "No, everybody's individual." But here's the thing: he didn't just pop out. He did 50 years or however, doing things every single day, getting out of his comfort zone, doing MIA fighting, announcing and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden he hits that one thing that he's really good at, and he just goes right to the top, and everybody's heard of him. But it was years and years and years of work that went into a person. You can always look. You can go back to Darren, because I know his story, because his partner, like you said, he teamed up with a lady called Kate, and they were just friends, but they were the number one people in the TPN because they were good at what they did. They were leaders, and they believed in the personal development. So yeah, that's good. I love how you journal. So tell me what your journaling habits like. Do you do it in the morning? Do you do it in the evening? When do you do your journaling?
So, well, real quick, fun fact: I've actually never listened to a Joe Rogan podcast in my life.
Really? I had until he
Which
got
is,
in trouble when he was like almost banned by those groups. I had never heard of it, and all of a
but
sudden,
it's a huge jujitsu thing, right? Like every jujitsu person listens to Joe Rogan podcasts, and
really, is it?
yeah, and I've never listened to one. So I struggle to listen to podcasts. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me a long time to even listen to, like, all I listened to is music, and then I was like, all right,
Yeah,
I'll listen to some audiobooks. And
yeah,
Chris Bailey, Time and Attention podcast is really the only one I've listened to, because it's
uh,
always under 30 minutes.
yes,
Um, but yeah, so the journaling, and I went through multiple different journals. I try to think of like what my goal in journaling would be. And this is not like a I write about my day in my diary kind of journal.
Hmm.
I started with the Phoenix Planner, which obviously my logo is a phoenix.
Hmm.
And then I didn't really like that one. And then I went to Darren's yearly planning
Hmm.
journal, and I like the beginning part, but I don't like that journal either.
Yeah.
And then I went to, I think, one other one, and I was kind of like, "Ah, isn't really what I need." And what Darren talked about is having like a morning routine and an evening routine, which I did like. So, because he
Yep.
calls those your bookends, you always have that, like you get to choose what you do here, but in the
Yep.
middle of the day, who knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
So I really like the Go Crazy journal because it kind of gets to the point, like, okay, what's your goal? How are you going to get there? And then it talks about like, great gratitude is that mindset that helps everybody be successful. And I was like, okay, growing up the way that I did was very negative type mindset. So I was like, let me find something to make my mindset more positive and match how I feel on the inside. And so I got the Go Crazy, which is very like bullet point. I am not a fluffy writer. I'm very to the point. So that one just kind of has your quarterly goal, because I do things quarterly. I also
Hmm.
read the 12-week year, so everything's
Yep.
quarterly goal. Your number one goal, then you talk about like three things that you're grateful for, three things you look forward to. It's got an affirmation thing if you want to do that. Then it says your number one goal for the day, and then things that you'd like to get done, nice to get done, not for today. And then on your evening side, it's a positive sentence for the day, three accomplishments, your three favorite parts of the day, um, general note, something you learned and how you can be better tomorrow. And then it has a tracker, like a daily habit tracker. So those habits that you're trying to form, you do them monthly and you track them daily. And then you have a weekly and a monthly. It's very simple.
Hmm.
But now, and so it takes me about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and 5 to 10 minutes at night. But now I have this awesome tablet here. And so what I've been doing is I actually made those into PDFs on here. And so I just literally do it on this one tablet.
Hmm.
So I won't show you because of the background thing.
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
see
I
it
can see
here.
it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Yep.
I just do it all on here. And so I put all my stuff in, and I kind of adapted even that when I made it for myself. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
want to write my top three moments of the day. I want to write all of the good moments of the day. And so I made more space there and adapted it for myself. But it does take a minute to figure out, what's your goal, which
Hmm.
journal you want to use, what you're looking for to do with that journal. For me, this is very much what I was looking for. So it took me, like I said, a few journals to go through and to really figure out what it was, that thing that I wanted to have on mine. So thinking about what your goals are first before getting your journal.
Yeah.
And I can do this one too if I forget my journal or something like that. I already kind of know the whole thing, so I can go through it in my head, and just
Yeah.
that also very helpful.
Yeah. I was never a journaler till about a couple years ago. And because my journaling in the past have been like the ugly stuff, like that when I got into trouble, the depression hit, I would start journaling, and I have a bunch of journals. I even want to go back and read them because they're not. But but when I got into journaling the last 2 years, had read a book, Atomic Habits, which is stacking
I'm
habits.
reading that right now.
Yeah. So I get up. I'm at the gym every morning at 4:30. I haven't missed in a year and a half. And the reason I do, well, the gym's downstairs, but I've stacked all my positive habits on top of it. I can't wait to journal because a half hour, well, about a half hour after I finish my workout, I am writing like crazy from the day before what I learned and stuff. So I've stacked so many positive things. It's my creative time. So the only times I missed when I had COVID and I busted my ribs. But I even clock in so I can go back to see it to validate. But it's like it just happens 7 days a week, the same routine. But Atomic Habits helped me really form the layers of habit that create change. And so I can't wait to every day, and I just write. And I'm not a writer generally because growing up dyslexic, that writing, if I don't have
I can
Alexa to
imagine.
spell something, I misspelled every third word. So when you can't spell words, writing is not the thing to do. But I developed with my iPhone to speak into it. So I speak into an app so it flows because it can translate. So to your point, and I think our viewers, if somebody says this is the way they journal, that's their style. You
Right.
have to find your style. And there's 100 different styles out there. So if you think you're going to mold what you want to do into one style, you'll be disappointed. So you just got to kind of be flexible enough to take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and make it your own. And I
Well, and
think,
that's the thing. People give up, right? Because they're like, well, I can't do this. And it's like, well, because that doesn't work for you,
yeah,
right? My best friend is like that. She's not like me at all. She panics at the thought of looking at my calendar. And it's like, for me, my calendar terrifies people, but I literally know what I'm doing every half hour is like, all right, this, and then my watch will tell me in 10 minutes you have this thing. Cool. So I never
yeah,
have to think about like, what am I doing next? It's like literally all there. So, you know, it's different for everyone. And don't think that
yeah,
that means it's not for you. You just have to do it the way that works for you. And people are like, you schedule your downtime? And I'm like,
yes.
yes, because if not, I won't do it.
We'll get
It's
it.
like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, I schedule my drive time because if not, I would be like, I have 30 minutes free. And it's like, no, you don't. You're driving. You can't be somewhere and drive at the same time. It's like,
Yes.
oh crap. So if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. But that's all stuff that once again, I built onto, like they're talking about atomic habits, like Darren talked about. I started with what never changes in my schedule, which is the times I teach classes, right? Then
Mhm.
I started adding and adding, and same thing with the habit stacking. And, today I was listening to the chapter on, um, like why we do things, like making it attractive. And now he's talking about like tracking the thing.
Mhm.
So all of the stuff he talks about, it's like, and it works differently for everyone because that whole he says like one room, one purpose. I don't need that. I can have the same room for multiple purposes, and when I get in there, I know what I'm doing. But I
Mhm.
can see how that would be very helpful for others. So
Yeah.
there's so many things, and it works so different for everyone. So yeah, don't give up because the first one you had didn't work for you, or reach out to someone and be like, why do you do it this way? And I can,
Yes.
they can explain it to you, and then you go,
Yes.
oh, okay, I can adapt that for myself. It's like, yeah, why do you make it in Braille? Well, because I'm blind.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, you don't have to make yours in Braille. So you have to figure out how to make that thing work for you, and then
Yeah.
you go, oh, now I'll be able to do this.
The thought it came to me a few minutes ago when you talked about your calendar. There's a guy, and this is one that I'm in it every single day, but he says if you want to see where a person's going, look at their calendar. And what I think our viewers, I'd like them to grasp, because you do the same thing. Because yesterday you text me and I'm going, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm going, "Oh shoot, I missed it." And it's like sometimes I will put things in the wrong place, but that's another story. But here's what I think is so cool is schedule your downtime, schedule everything. It's not that you're over the top, it's you value the way you live your life. And, it's almost like schedule time to build relationships. Don't just when I have time, because if you use that phrase, when I have time, you will never have time.
Yeah,
You have to be
got to make the
intentional about
time.
it. Yeah, if it's important to have a downtime, put it on your calendar. Then you just look, because I can imagine if we were like 60 Minutes or one of those shows where we followed you around, we would be amazed at how you manage your day. Because I can see by getting to know you and talking with you, you're intentional about what you do. And
Yeah.
I used to know, I still know the person, and I'd say, "What are you doing today?" And it was, I'm not going to say the answer, but it was basically whatever. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, whatever, like whatever. I mean, you
Mine's a
can't.
screenshot. It's a
I,
screenshot of my. Do you know how many screenshots I have of my calendar. Like,
Oh,
what are
I
you doing
bet.
today? Screenshot send.
Yeah.
It's
I
scheduled on
mean,
Sunday.
yes. Is it color coordinated or do
Yes,
you?
absolutely.
Oh,
All right,
so I'm a
let's
color.
see.
Oh yeah, I have colors for everything, and it looks like a Christmas tree.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're gonna have you back on the productivity
this is my weekend.
mindset because yeah, that is really so important. Is to not because I heard somebody say this: if you don't have an agenda, another person owns your agenda. So if you just like first thing you do is check emails, you're checking other people's problems and
Yeah,
you're getting into other people's stuff. It's your life. You're responsible for your life. And you have to say no for things too. It's like if it doesn't fit what you want to do, it's called no. No, I don't want to do it. Because you
yep,
can't keep saying yes to things because you're saying yes to other people's
yeah,
agenda. They're not responsible for you. You're responsible for yourself. Oh man, we could have some cool. I mean, I bet you when we talk about the managing of a day, I think it's so important to own your day. And I agree with you on the bookmarks. The start and the end are your bookmarks. Everything
yep,
in between is your day, but you can manage it by having an intentional plan. Hey, I'm going to intentionally call my friends. I'm going to intentionally have my meditation. I'm going to intentionally, and you can go down the list, whatever's important to you.
yeah.
Okay, this is good. All right, now we have to go to the commercial break. All right, we always have to have commercials. This is a TV station, kind of, sort of. Okay, so I want our viewers to know we have the 22nd of May. Put it on your calendar. This is where you call your mom and dad up and you bring them on a date and you laugh and you enjoy yourself. This will be at Grace Church by the mall. Tickets are $15 individual. You can buy groups of
Nothing.
10. And you can just laugh because the cool thing about this is this QR code. If people can scan it, you can laugh your head off for 46 minutes. So if you're having a bad day and you want some laughter in your life, listen to this. But we have 3 comedians, a rising star, Melissa. She's organizing it and putting the comedians together. And Larry Hauser, who, if you're an athlete and a baseball player, Dick Hauser used to coach Kansas City and the Yankees. That's his brother. But he has 3 daughters who have been rolling their eyes for 50 years because he's always cracking jokes with them. And his daughters going, Dad, come on. They always giving him a hard time about it. But he's leading us off. So from 6 to 6:30, we'll have Melissa and Larry. We'll take a break. We'll promote our podcasters during that time, and we'll let you mingle with some vendors out in the lobby. They'll have some food, so we're going to feed you, and you can get to know your vendors. You got to know your vendors when your parents are getting older. They change stages quickly, and you got to know what resources are available for your mom and dad. So that is on the 22nd. Tickets are available on, let's see if I can do this. Maybe not here. Give one. This is why I'm getting off this platform. Dadgummit. Oh, yeah, here we go. Tickets are podcasterpetecane.com, and you'll see the top. We'll have the meetup and the tickets available by today. So if a person wants to go on there, give me till noontime and we'll have it set up. But share this with people. If you're in the senior community and your vendor, your company touches seniors, then they need to know about this. So that is my commercial break. So, Joanie, we always leave you with this. Okay, let me put your information up here. Okay, so you want to have more confidence? You want to be a leader? You've got to get a hold and be trained by them. So go down, sign up for your gym. Don't you have the month of May for moms? Tell
Yep.
our viewers what you have set up for our moms out there.
So moms train free all of May. And the classes, and we're going to specify that because we had people ask, but any class that we offer, they can come to. The best classes are going to be fundamentals, especially if you've never trained jiu-jitsu before. If you have
Mhm.
trained jiu-jitsu in the past, you can still come in, take classes for free, unlimited, the entire month. Just come try it out, see if it's something that you enjoy. And actually, my social media lady, she's about to put up her testimonial, but her name's Kate, and she came last year for Mothers Train Free and has been here since. And she had
Wow.
just gotten done, like just healed from her C-section. And so we
Uh-huh.
just, we can work around things that y'all, if there's an issue or pain, whatever, we can work around that. But it's, Mothers Train Free the entire month. As long as you're a human mother, not dog and cat moms, your grandmothers too. So
Yes.
everybody can come out, train for free. And that's the big thing we're doing in May. And then we have my Roll for a Cure event, May
Mhm.
19th, which is a
Okay.
Sunday. Everyone can come out. We'll have a silent auction table. We have the little sober bar coming out, which is all non-alcoholic beverages. And then we are supposed to be having a food truck. So still looking for my food truck though. And
Mhm.
so this is going to be a fun event. There'll be music. We'll be hanging out in the parking lot. There'll be people doing jiu-jitsu, but we're raising awareness for neurofibromatosis, which is a nerve disease my best friend had. So that's what we've got going on here in May. And then anyone can come try a free class with us if it's something you're interested in doing. You
Mhm.
don't have to put any money in, just come see the atmosphere, see how classes run, see if it's something that you enjoy, completely free.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for honoring our moms because Mother's Day is coming up and we want to honor our moms. Thank you for doing that. And I want
Absolutely.
to encourage our viewers, share this with people. You know a mom out there and they don't know that what's being offered, and get this podcast in front of them. Let them know what their options are. Business is not about being a best kept secret. That is not a strategy that works.
No.
We want, it hasn't worked forever and it's never going to work in the future. So let people know what's out there. You know somebody in your circle of friends that could use this, then share it with them. Encourage them to get down there and learn some things that are going to help their confidence and their leadership and just their physical ability. I mean, my gosh, Brent talks about the time you slammed him twice on the mat. I mean, he's humbled, but yes, he needed to be humble. He gets a little crazy at times. So
He asked. He asked.
yeah, exactly. Say, hey, look, if somebody's going to ask for it, you deliver.
Exactly.
I know. So tell our viewers the one thing you would want them to take home from our time on the podcast.
Today, figure out what it is that you want, not what other people want of you, what you want, and how to get there, and then get those people in your life, get the training in your life, and make your way towards that.
Awesome. Joanie, thank you so much for being our guest and bringing the house to our viewers. This is awesome. Thank you. We're going to have you on other podcasts. I can see there's many more skill sets that our viewers need to be exposed to, and I think I know somebody that has them. So thank you so much for enjoy your day and appreciate you sharing with us today.
Sounds good. Y'all have a great day.